If I had a courtroom, that would be my first rule of court. Any proceeding may be interrupted by a dog. Our first story here is the Crytek versus Cloud Imperium Games Corp. Et al., which is basically, I've just been calling it Crytek v Star Citizen because that's basically what it is. And there's this order here on Thursday that says that the court finds that defendants' motion to dismiss the first amended complaint and the hearing presently scheduled for February 9th, 2018 is appropriate for decision without oral argument, without the hearing on February 9th. Accordingly, the motion is taken under submission and the hearing is vacated. It is so ordered. There is no PDF associated with this entry, text-only entry. The judge felt that she did not have to hear whatever they were going to say in argument with the motion to dismiss. So I don't know what that means. We went over the motion to dismiss. You can see our video on YouTube. The arguments are basically around contract interpretation. And although contract interpretation touches on parts of law and parts of fact, it might be something that still goes to further hearing or adjudication in court rather than being done on a motion to dismiss. However, the arguments that were being made by the defendants did seem fairly strong. So I really don't know which way this one's going to go. If I'm going to put my money on it, and I'm not, I'm going to give it odds towards that the motion to dismiss gets denied and the case continues for further adjudication, whether that be into discovery or what. I would expect there to be a denial of the motion to dismiss. I'm not predicting that as 100%, though. I'm going 60-40 on that, and I'm thinking that it's really only just the motion to dismiss standard which would be a problem. The judges generally don't want to dismiss cases if there's a genuine issue to be resolved at a trial or through a summary judgment motion or through discovery and then settlement or something. So I do kind of expect the case to go forward, but it's not because I feel like the other side's case is that strong. I'm really still questioning Crytek's case, and the more I'm getting into studying contract interpretation to understand where this case is going, the more I'm kind of seeing that what we're talking about, just the reasonable things you would expect, talking about what the parties intended when the contract was made, what the parties do in other business practices, like is this his historical thing, this is exclusivity clause, and this limitation on damages. Are these things normal for these parties and for other parties in the business area of business, in software development and licensing to do? And the more I'm getting into it, the more it seems like the court does do and take all these reasonable steps and doesn't decide these things on mere technicalities unless the agreement is so unambiguous that its meaning is plain and clear on its face. And with these parties having this detailed 20-plus page argument each time over the meaning and details of exclusivity, I'm going to guess that that's sufficiently ambiguous for a court to need to make a determination. So that's why I'm saying I think it'll go past a motion to dismiss, if that makes sense. Does that make any sense, Brandon? Any thoughts or comments on that? Anyone else here?
Yeah, sounds great. Honestly, the case is kind of silly in my opinion, but that's just me. Obviously, there's at least a little bit of legal merit here if the court is even allowing it to remain open at all. So.
And we're taking a short dog break.
Apparently.
He just decided he wanted to be on camera. So here we are. And we are on camera.
The real boss of Lawful
Hello,
Masses
puppy.
is Nico, actually.
Yes. And just about any proceeding can be interrupted by the dog. That would be, if I had a courtroom, that would be my first rule of court. Any proceeding may be interrupted by a dog. It's been pretty crummy here, like rainy and muddy, and Ilse has a injured leg that she's recovering from. I think she pulled a muscle, and we haven't really been going out and running around in the mud a whole lot because we don't want to hurt Ilse, and it's also really crummy. So he has been getting lots of pets. Okay, honey? You can go lay down? Good boy. What a good boy. And then I have another bit of good news.
Oh, Lord.
YouTube has posted to their creator blog, Friday, February 9th, preventing harm to the broader YouTube community. Recently, we faced situations where the egregious actions of a handful of YouTubers harmed the reputation of a broader creator community among advertisers, the media industry, and most importantly, the general public. In light of this behavior and our commitment to tighten our policies and communicate them more quickly and transparently, we're introducing new consequences to apply in the rare event when one creator's actions harm the entire community. When one creator does something particularly blatant, like conducts a heinous prank where people are traumatized, promotes violence or hate towards a group, demonstrates cruelty, or sensationalizes the pain of others in attempts to gain viewers or subscribers, it can cause lasting damage to the community, including to viewers, creators, and the outside world. The damage can have real-world consequences not only to users but also to other creators, leading to missed creative opportunities, lost revenue, and serious harm to your livelihoods. Yeah, no shit.
Seriously.
This is why it's incredible to... Wow. What word was that?
Critical?
This is why it's critical to ensure that the actions of the few don't impact the 99.9% of you who use your channels to connect with your fans or build a thriving business. We've long had a set of community guidelines that act as rules for the road for creators to share your content on our platform, and a set of ad-friendly guidelines for what they can monetize. We also have a system of strikes to enforce those guidelines, which can ultimately result in a channel's demonetization or termination. In very rare circumstances, we need a broader set of tools at our disposal that can be used more quickly and more effectively than the current system of guidelines and strikes. Today, we're outlining additional steps. Premium monetization programs, promotion and content development partnerships. We may remove a content from Google Preferred and also suspend, cancel, or remove a creator's YouTube original works. Monetization and creator support privileges. We may suspend a channel's ability to serve ads, ability to earn revenue, and potentially remove a channel from the partner program, including creator support and access to YouTube Spaces. Video recommendations. We may remove a channel's ability to be recommended on YouTube, such as appearing on our homepage, trending tab, or watch next. In the past, we felt our responses to some of these situations were slow and didn't always address our broader community's concerns. Our ultimate goal here is to streamline our response so we can make better, faster decisions and communicate them clearly. We believe strongly in the freedom of expression, and we know that the overwhelming majority of you follow the guidelines and understand that you're part of a large, influential, and interconnected community. We also know that we have a responsibility to protect the entire community of creators, viewers, and advertisers from these rare but often damaging situations. We expect to issue these new consequences only in a handful of egregious cases, but hope that they will help us prevent these actions of a few from harming the broader community. Ariel Bardin, Vice President of Product Management on YouTube. Well, Ariel, thank you very much. Hope that you're going to back that up with the appropriate action, and that, you know, it's not going to be another round of like mass demonetization for everyone who's trying to abide by the guidelines as best as possible. But other than that, that's my main concern, and you addressed everything else. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's about freaking time, isn't it? That we got something from them, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, how many of us have been leaving for Twitch? And Twitch is obviously, look at what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we'll have you, like, we'll take you.
They're pulling the sponsors. they're doing everything right, you know.
And Twitch isn't perfect either, but you know we didn't make a trivially small amount of money on Twitch the past few months. We've made over $100 each month, which is enough to show that there's a possibility here. We only have a few hundred viewers on Twitch, so getting a couple $100 here or there from a few hundred viewers is actually an enormous return. So I'm totally interested in what Twitch is going to do, and we're going to be on both platforms basically, conceivably, from here on out. We'll play the game a little bit. We're not going to play games with our subscribers or content or viewers. We just mean we're going to play the business game a little bit on the back
I think we're
end.
just going to be using YouTube for what it's best at, which is, you know, videos on demand. Lives.
For now, yeah. If they reassure me that the bot is better and my live streams aren't going to get demonetized, we do a couple test live streams and they don't get demonetized, great. But like, we talked about sexual content in the Twitch community guidelines update today. Does that bot now on YouTube automatically mean that we're demonetized on YouTube because I talked about the Twitch no sexual stuff on Twitch guidelines? Like, hello, we were talking about the guidelines, but we used the word sex, so which is it? You know, that's what's crappy about it, is not knowing what you can and can't talk about, you know, when it's important.
I do feel like this announcement might be a bit delayed because they were already doing a lot of the things that they just said. For example, we've got like lots of research that shows that our videos are removed from recommended feeds when they're demonetized and stuff like that. So maybe they should have announced some of this earlier, but it is good to hear them at least speaking.
I think they meant channels. Those were phrased in the phrase of the phrase they used was channels, not videos.
Fair enough.
So they can remove your whole channel.
Fair enough.
From promotion. Now, back at you, I think you're still right.
Yeah.
I think they were removing our channel, for example, from promotion after we got demonetized one too many times, which was like 80% of our videos last year. It was really pretty bad. So I'm hoping that this year will be a little bit better, and when we make good stuff, it actually gets good views, it actually gets good pay.
We're already seeing
That's
a
what I'd like it
positive
to be.
trend this year. I mean, this year is looking a bit better, you know. So
Yeah, but only for like the last few weeks. So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves yet. So here's one I'm sure that you're all so happy to see. Another community guidelines update, this time from Twitch. To our Twitch community, today we're sharing an update to our community guidelines. This is just the first of many improvements coming to the policies, moderation processes, and safety features on Twitch. We use our guidelines to keep the community strong and safe. These guidelines detail the content supported on Twitch, rules for streamers and viewers, much more. Our goal is to ensure Twitch is a place where everyone feels safe and welcome, and we continue to listen to you as we grow. Twitch began with a single core idea: stream video games online. That simple hook attracted viewers, they stuck around, built friendships, community, began to inject personalities. Last year we loosened our restrictions to non-gaming content. This lets you bring as much of your life onto Twitch as you wanted. Creative, music, fitness, IRL, talk shows, board games. By sharing yourself on Twitch, Twitch became part of your life. Over the past several months, you've told us certain sections of our guidelines are not clear enough, not strong enough, and we are too slow to act. To begin addressing this, we are rolling out updates to our policies. Today's update focuses on our anti-harassment and sexual content policies. We want everyone to not only feel welcome on Twitch, but to be proud of to be part of the community. To that end, we are strengthening our stance on harassment and hate. First, conduct we deem hateful will result in an immediate, indefinite suspension. Hate has no place on Twitch. Additionally, we will now consider verifiable, hateful, or harassing conduct that takes place off Twitch when making moderation decisions for actions that occur on Twitch. So, maybe not found in a court of law, but they're claiming that they're going to be able to verify it somehow. So hopefully that's something. If you use other services to direct hate or harassment towards someone on Twitch, we will also consider it a violation of Twitch's policies. We are also updating our modern moderation framework to pay close attention to the context and intent in addition to the words or actions used. Please remember, even if you're joking with your friends, you're still choosing to stream on a service that reaches a large audience. As to sexual content, Twitch is an open global community with users of many ages and cultures. Because of this, it's important that your content is not sexual in nature. We're updating our moderation framework to review your conduct in its entirety when evaluating if the intent is to be sexually suggestive. We'll be looking at contextual elements such as stream title, camera angles, emotes, panels, attires, overlays, and chat moderation. Offering access to prohibited sexual content such as lewds on Twitch remains prohibited. Attire in gaming streams, most at-home streams, and all profile channel imagery should appear appropriate for a public street, mall, or restaurant. As a reminder, we will not tolerate using this policy as a basis to harass streamers on or off Twitch, regardless of whether you think they're breaking the rule. That's important. We will not tolerate this policy being used to harass streamers. The full changes are available in the revised community guidelines. They go into effect Monday, February 19th. Until then, we'll continue operating under the former. You must remove clips and VODs that violate these guidelines before February 19th, 9 a.m. Pacific. During the transition, we'll be reaching out to some streamers whose current and past content may violate these new guidelines to help you be successful. Well, that's cool. Holy crap. I mean, could you imagine if YouTube had said, we're going to reach out to you and tell you what your stuff is going to be demonetized before we actually do it so that you have a chance to correct it? What the hell? That would have, like, mitigated the freaking adpocalypse a lot.
Yep.
I mean, they could still have gotten it wrong, but you know what I'm getting at. In the coming months, we'll be revisiting our enforcement policies, IRL guidelines, preventing user harassment. Every day, tens of thousands of streamers press go live. We continue to do our part to make Twitch even better. I don't have an easy way to go through all of my old content. Should I delete everything? No, your content is important. We expect creators to make a good faith effort to remove any hateful, harassing, or sexually suggestive content. If reported, content that violates the new guidelines that was created before they came into effect will be removed, but without suspension. But we reserve the right to exercise discretion on severe violations. Okay. That almost sounds a little bit metered. That almost sounds a little bit measured. And I know not everybody is happy with changes in general. If changes have to be made, those changes appear to be being made at least on the pretense of openness and transparency, something we did not get from YouTube, and I'm kind of pleasantly surprised to read that. Now, how it actually gets done, it's going to happen in 8 days, so, we'll see, I guess. I'm not making any... Go ahead.
I wonder if the PR team from Twitch saw what happened to YouTube and was like, ooh, let's not be that. You know?
Yeah. I hope they did. I hope the whole world saw. We certainly made a big enough stink about it.
We're still making a big stink about it because it means it's a.
We're still getting demonetized, and I'm happy that the last 3 videos did not. But that's literally like 1 week's worth of videos that did not get demonetized. Right. So if that's the beginning of something great. But it's only the beginning, and it's not enough of a pattern for me after 9 months of what I consider basically abuse by omission from YouTube. The lack of transparency from YouTube, if this was done by someone in a relationship with you, it would be no doubt that this is abuse. They won't tell you whether you actually have their love or not, or what the circumstances or how they feel about you. They're here, but they're only going to be here if you do things the way they want, but they won't tell you what those things are. You have to keep, like, jumping through hoops to guess and see if you're going to make your partner happy. They won't tell you what they want. They'll just, make you work extra hard so that they don't have to. That's abuse, and somehow it's not because it's YouTube. I get the whole, I'm a lawyer, I get the whole economic breach of a contract and all that, but this is different. This is not someone saying, we're terminating the contract. This is someone saying, we're not going to tell you how to follow the contract. We're going to be deliberately vague so that we have carte blanche to do what we want. Even if we're benevolent dictators, you don't get any information. That's what I think is abusive about that.